Hello again. Alright, this is video number 2, and now I want to talk to you very briefly about my teaching philosophy. And my teaching philosophy revolves around 3 things. I have them conveniently written up here for you. So school and community relationships, a student-centered approach, and reflection/lifelong learning. So number 1, I think in order to be, and these are all the components that I believe makes a successful teacher. So number 1, school and community relationships. I said in my previous video that I have been working in Coatesville at the Learning Center for the past 2 years, and I found my first year, especially because it was an alternative school, it was special needs, and I didn't have a lot of experience in that area. There was a lot for me to learn my first year. By the time my second year rolled around, I definitely knew a lot of the technicalities, and I was more used to it, but I still was lacking a real key piece of community knowledge. I started spending more time in the area. I've been volunteering in the area. I'm very involved in the school and different activities there. I'm very involved with my students and their lives and what they're doing outside of school. And also I became more aware because I've built more relationships within the community. I started to become more aware of the unique challenges and the unique strengths of the community that I serve. And I found that as this relationship between not just me and the school, but also me and just the community, as a whole, I started to perform a lot better at work because it gave me far more insight into my students and what their needs were, what their aspirations were, what their parents' aspirations or their guardians' aspirations for them were, and it actually really informed my practice and really altered a lot of ways that I approached problems. I actually found myself coming up with some different solutions. So I think that is a huge key in being a successful teacher and having students in succeeding in your classroom. Number 2, I have a student-centered approach. I really do believe that students who are given more agency within reason do succeed a lot more, and I know for me as a learner, I thrive when I have more choice and more opportunity, and that's something I like to bring into my teaching style. So that's why when I teach differentiation, UDL, that's all very important to me and incorporated into my lesson plans. And again, giving my students more autonomy and more agency is a big priority in my mind, and also giving them a forum for discussion and for their voices to be heard. I think we tailor content to what we think students need to know and don't give them enough say in like what they think they need to know and what would be useful for them. And I do like to flip my classroom a little bit and give my students some more autonomy there and say, hey, what on your end, what are you perceiving that you need? What do you want to get out of this? And I find that intrinsically motivates them, it keeps them engaged longer, and it leads to more authentic learning. So that definitely informs my practice a lot as a teacher. And then the last one, and this is arguably one of the most important, reflection and lifelong learning. If you watched my last video, you know that my undergraduate was supposed to get me certification, and I opted out of that, and so now I'm back in school for a master's program, and now I'm seeking certification again. And I say this often to people, but I am so grateful that I did not go into teaching right out of my undergraduate, because looking back, as much as I hate to admit it, I was very arrogant, and I did assume, like, I know kids are easy, they're all the same, and I kind of just took for granted that, like, in my mind, I thought, the school system has been around for so long, we have to have perfected it by now, it's fine, I can, teach however I need. I just felt I felt very comfortable in my approach to teaching, but I had zero experience to back up any of those thoughts. However, these past 2 years working at the Learning Center have been some of the most humbling experiences of my life, knowing that I do not know even a quarter as much as I thought that I did, and that to be an effective teacher, you need to be learning at every turn, because the world is constantly changing, technology is evolving, history is being made, things are always shifting around, and part of being a teacher is being adaptable and having the humility to be able to say, this is something that I actually might not know enough about, and I need to defer, to someone else, or, I need to research, I need to learn, I need to seek out more opportunities for professional development. In other words, I, lean not on my own understanding. And then a part of that is, honest self-reflection and being able to admit to yourself, because you're not going to be able to learn if you're unable to reflect and be able to admit, hey, I think I might be missing something. And, I think, there's a different approach that maybe I should be taking, and reconsider some of my choices here. So, yeah, those are the three most, just to review that, those are my, three most important things I think, that makes an effective teacher: school and community relationships, a student-centered approach, and then honest self-reflection and lifelong learning. And as I said in my last video, if you have any questions, my contact information is right below, so feel free to reach out and ask me anything you need to, and I hopefully will get back to you.